All right, let's talk about something that affects every single one of us, our planet. Today, we're jumping into the science that's all about keeping it healthy, environmental science, and its ultimate goal, which is sustainability.
Really, it all comes down to this one massive question, doesn't it? How do we take care of our only home? Now that sounds like a huge, maybe even impossible task, but thankfully there's an entire field of science dedicated to figuring out the answers.
Because to solve a problem this big, you need more than just good intentions, right? You need facts, you need data, you need to understand how all the pieces fit together, and that's exactly what environmental science brings to the table.
So, let's get right into it. What exactly is environmental science? It's way more than just studying trees and animals. It's really about understanding our place in the grand scheme of things.
You know, the best way to think about it is like a huge team of detectives working on a single case. You've got the biologists, right? They're tracking wildlife. You've got chemists analyzing water. You've got economists calculating the real cost of pollution. And you've got sociologists looking at how all of this impacts our communities. They are all bringing their unique clues together to solve the ultimate puzzle. How do we live here without breaking the very system that supports us?
So, what kind of ground does this science actually cover? Well, because everything in our world is so connected, the scope is, well, it's massive.
I mean, it looks at everything, from how we humans make an impact through things like pollution and climate change, to how that affects the planet's built-in systems, like the water cycle. It dives into how we manage our precious natural resources and even the ethics behind our environmental laws. But here's the most important part. It's not just about pointing out the problems, it's about actively designing the solutions.
And that brings us to the absolute core idea of all this: interdependence. Everything is connected. Think of it like a domino effect. A decision to build a new factory in one place affects the air quality in the surrounding area, which then affects the health of people living downwind, which ultimately impacts the whole local economy and community. See? It's all one big chain reaction.
So, all this research, all this data gathering, what's it all for? Well, it's all pushing us toward one single, absolutely vital goal: sustainability.
Now, that's the classic definition you see on screen, but what does it actually mean in plain English? It means living well today without basically stealing from our kids and grandkids. It's not about giving everything up. It's about being smart and innovative, creating a world where everyone, both now and in the future, can thrive.
People often talk about sustainability as a three-legged stool. You've got one leg for the environment, one for society, and one for the economy. To be truly stable, you need all three. If you kick one of those legs out, say you damage the environment for a short-term economic gain, the whole thing just topples over. They absolutely depend on each other.
Okay, so why should we care about any of this in our day-to-day lives? Well, because this isn't some abstract theory in a textbook. It has a huge, tangible impact that you can see all around you.
Just take climate change, for example. The science clearly identifies the problem: a warming planet that's messing with our weather, our farms, everything. But it doesn't just stop there and say, well, we're in trouble. No, it actively drives the solutions. Every time you see a solar panel on a roof or a giant wind turbine spinning, you are literally looking at environmental science in action.
Or think about something as fundamental as clean water. The problem is simple. Polluted water can make us really sick. The solution? Well, that comes from environmental scientists who figure out how to design better water treatment plants and, even more importantly, how to stop that pollution from getting into the water in the first place. This is all about protecting our health.
So when you zoom out and look at the big picture, you see just how crucial this field is. It's about protecting our health, preserving the amazing diversity of life on Earth, fighting climate change, and making sure we all have the food, water, and energy we need to live safe, secure lives.
This really is the heart of it all, isn't it? It's this incredibly powerful and honestly hopeful idea. We can use what we know, use science, to protect our world and build a better future for everyone. That's a pretty amazing mission.
So, after all that, the big question is, what can we do? Because this knowledge isn't just for scientists in a lab, it gives every single one of us the power to act. And it can start with really simple but powerful things: trying to reduce our waste, being a little more mindful of the water or energy we use, and, this one is huge, just talking about it and raising awareness.
And that brings it right back home, to us, because this science isn't just about understanding the world. It's about having the tools to change it for the better. And that big change is built on millions of small, individual choices. So I'll just leave you with this to think about. What's one small change you'll make?